CNN's Tony Clark will have a live report from Texas, where U.S. soldiers wounded in Panama are arriving for treatment.
Hi, I'm David Hasselhoff with American Treasury. Although Shakespeare wrote, "Neither a borrower nor lender be," the English language he used and we speak doesn't follow that advice. Some examples after this.
I'm ready for my physical fitness test. Are you?
Our English language is a collection of words from all over. Here are some from India. Pajama, meaning a loose garment, it's an Indian word. The cloth calico is named after the Indian city of Calicut. Khaki is a Hindustani word which means dust-colored. And the expression "the big cheese" is not American as apple pie, but comes from the Hindi chiz, meaning thing. The British used the big chiz when they were in India to mean the very thing. It's a fact in the Library of Congress. Learn about word origins in your library.
I'm Richard Dean Anderson with American Treasury. A faraway place, a new technology, a surefire formula for adventure, and a place in history. Roger Fenton's adventure after this.
The bugle, sounding the call for American fighting forces for over 100 years. An important part of our American military heritage.
Englishman Roger Fenton was shot at constantly during the Crimean War in the mid-1850s. But Fenton's own shots were aimed mostly at troops on his own side. His weapon? A camera. Fenton's photographic van, a carriage bought from a wine merchant, served as storage and sleeping quarters and became the first portable darkroom. Roger Fenton brought home hundreds of pictures, becoming the first photographer to cover a war. His pictures are in the Library of Congress. Learn more about photography in your library. Air Force Base.
Phone 1255766. Work phone 9488. Address 924. Address 246. License number 2CF06980. Checking account number 123456788.
These days, you have to remember many numbers, but chances are you don't even know two of the most important. These are the two numbers that show the pressure of the blood against your artery walls. The first is the pressure when your heart pumps. The second, when your heart rests. There is no normal blood pressure, but the higher the numbers, the greater your risk of heart attack, kidney disease, and stroke. And anything higher than 140/90 should be discussed with your doctor. Even dangerously high blood pressure rarely has any symptoms. So check your blood pressure often and keep your blood pressure in check.
In September of 1861, the Balloon Corps of the Army of the Potomac became an official entity, and the United States had its first air service. Then, in 1907, the Army established the Aeronautical Division and bought its first airplane, a Wright Flyer. Military aviation has come a long way since then. It played an important role in World War I, but it really came into its own in World War II. After that war, the United States Air Force was established as a separate branch of the Armed Forces on September 18, 1947. The pride and dedication of Air Force men and women continues as the foundation of strength in today's Air Force. On September 18th, all Americans join in celebrating the 43rd birthday of the United States Air Force.
From the 534th MD Company, have a safe and happy holiday season.
We are
are the Southern Command Network, channels 8 and 10.
I try to stay in shape, and if I do say so myself, I look pretty good. I bench press my weight, run an 8-minute mile, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I've learned to manage my stress factors, and I don't have any trouble passing my physical fitness test. But I bet you wouldn't know by looking at me that I have hypertension, chronic high blood pressure. Anyone can get it. And blacks are more susceptible than most. In fact, 1 out of every 3 blacks will have a problem with high blood pressure. Hypertension can strike without any warning. Often it has no visible symptoms at all. And left untreated, hypertension can kill. So don't let your good looks fool you. Get your blood pressure checked regularly.
In September of 1861, the Balloon Corps of the Army of the Potomac became an official entity, and the United States had its first air service. Then, in 1907, the Army established the Aeronautical Division and bought its first airplane, a Wright Flyer. Military aviation has come a long way since then. It played an important role in World War I, but it really came into its own in World War II. After that war, the United States Air Force was established as a separate branch of the Armed Forces on September 18, 1947. The pride and dedication of Air Force men and women continues as the foundation of strength in today's Air Force. On September 18th, all Americans join in celebrating the 44th birthday of the United States Air Force.
Storing materials on stairs instead of in closets and cabinets can lead to strange consequences.
Hello, Sonny. Can I help you? I've never heard of a stair store before. Oh, well, this is the latest in convenient storage systems. Why, we've got a stair for almost everything. We got your stair for tools. We got your stairs for toys and we've got stairs for shoes and stairs for lamps and... Oh, be careful. Isn't it dangerous? Look, Sonny, stair storage is only for your true risk taker.
Remember, safety starts at home.
I'm Stephanie Mills with American Treasury. The art of ventriloquism was rarely practiced in public during the Middle Ages, and for good reason. What that reason was, after this.
Losing weight doesn't mean never eating foods that taste good. Just pick lighter, healthier foods and use your imagination. After all you have to lose is weight.
In the 1300s, a performer named Mescaline dazzled and terrified European audiences by conversing with the voice coming out of a wooden box. He was put to death for sorcery. 6 centuries later, some ventriloquists were still thought to be possessed, not by the devil, but by their own dummies. The celebrated master Edgar Bergen built a special room in his house, complete with scaled-down furniture for his famous alter ego, a wooden dummy who answered to the name of Charlie McCarthy. It's a fact in the Library of Congress. Learn about ventriloquism in your library.
Hello, I'm Alan Thicke with American Treasury. Canada's famed red-coated Royal Canadian Mounted Police once had a more threatening name. What it was and why it was changed after this.
If you take the security of your personal property lightly, believing that everything is in the bag, the only things in the bag will be your valuable possessions.
In 1873, a force of 300 Canadians was sent to deal with a group of American traders who had been creating havoc among Indians. The United States did not like the idea of an armed force patrolling the joint border. So the Canadians changed the name of their Northwest Mounted Rifles to the Northwest Mounted Police. In 1920, the Mounties became a federal force throughout Canada, achieving legendary status for always getting their man. It's a fact in the Library of Congress. Learn more about the Mounties in your library.
You're always reaching higher. Striving for your best. Ain't nothing's gonna stop you. You're ready for the test.
We've got the bridge.
Bridge coming up.
Light Fighters, the new light infantry. No matter where you are, in the jungle, the Arctic, the desert, or the mountains, you run out of day before you run out of challenge.
You know, all this talk about building your confidence might sound like a lot of hype. Let me tell you, hype doesn't get you to the top of this rock.
Be all that you can be.
Hey, Gal.
What?
The elevator's here.
All that you can be. Find your future in the Army.
I'm Christopher Atkins with American Treasury. One of the most popular toys of all time began its life deep in a jungle as a deadly weapon. How an instrument of fear became a source of fun after this.
Some people think that instances of fraud, waste, and abuse are just a drop in the bucket. But it all adds up. So if you see it, report it before we all get soaked.
Long ago in the jungles of the Philippines, natives battled their enemies with a heavy grooved disc attached to a long rope. The hurled disc would knock an enemy warrior down and would come back to the thrower to be used again. In English, the weapon's name meant come-come because it came back. But the jungle warriors didn't speak English. In their own language, they called the deadly device a yo-yo. In the 1920s, a smaller, tamer version on a string became a toy. It's a fact in the Library of Congress. Learn more about toys in your library.
I'm Gary Carter with American Treasury. The Marine Corps hymn begins from the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli. How those places figure in American history after this.
We learn good habits young. Buckle me up.
The words of the Marine Corps hymn recall Marines fighting pirates in the Mediterranean in 1805 when they stormed and captured the pirate stronghold at Derna, Tripoli, in today's Libya. They also recall the Mexican War when Marines captured the halls of Montezuma, the national palace of Mexico's last Aztec emperor. In history, as in their music, the Marines fight our country's battles wherever they may be. It's a fact in the Library of Congress. Learn more about the Marine Corps in your library.
In Government is brought to you by Citicorp, because Americans want to succeed, not just survive.
Excuse me.
Who, me?
Yes, you. Don, when was the last time you took your wife out?
Are you sure you got the right Don?
Hey, come on. Yeah, when did you last take Sally somewhere? Just the two of you.
Oh, I took her to a football game just last month.
Oh, a football game.
Nice. Oh, we won.
What a guy.
Well, Steve, when did you last take Pam somewhere she wanted to go?
Yeah, what about it, Steve?
I know. Last year. I took her fishing.
Oh, I bet you love that.
She likes fishing, I think.
John.
Yeah?
When did you last tell Julie that you loved her?
When was the last time I told her I loved her? Well, it's been a while, I suppose. It's been a while.
Bye, honey.
Wait another
Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
You know what to do if you want that promotion, baby. You take care of me, and I'll
Sexual harassment undermines the morale of its victims. Even in the military, the best trained and most enthusiastic individual finds it hard to perform when forced to deal with such a problem. No one deserves to be victimized by sexual harassment. That's why it's so important to report all such incidents to your commander or supervisor.
Using your credit cards is a real convenient way to pay for things when you're on leave. It's important to remember that what you're charging today may not be the same amount you're billed later on. Your account will be charged the prevailing exchange rate on the day your transaction is posted to your account, not the day you use your card. So, always build a cushion into your budget when using your credit cards on the local economy.
It's the professor. It's the barber. It's all of us. We're the great American investors. We invest in U.S. savings bonds because bonds have changed and pay competitive rates like money market accounts. U.S. savings bonds, the great American investment. Find out more. Write U.S. Savings Bonds, Washington, D.C., 20226.
Paying your credit card bill, are you? Are you going to pay the entire balance and avoid that interest charge? Made some more purchases on your credit card? How about paying it full this month before the interest gets too big? More charges? Can you pay off the balance? Those pesky little interest charges can really add up. So when you pay your credit card bill each month, always try and pay it off if you're not making installment purchases for major items. That way, you'll have the credit you need to conveniently buy the things you can afford without being buried by big interest payments each month. Bet it feels good not to monkey with those interest payments anymore. Well done.
You gave us a try, now hit subscribe. Be sure to YouTube responsibly and hit that like button if you like what you see, because there's plenty of content to come.